Good morning. Welcome to another edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show. My name is Leon Jones. This morning's topic: cultural Marxism will continue to destroy America. Cultural Marxism will continue to destroy America. But before I get into the topic, let's define what cultural Marxism is. Now, for those who haven't gone to college or heard the term, Marxism was established by a German philosopher in the 1800s named Karl Marx. But when we talk about cultural Marxism is a branch of Western Marxism. Now, that's different from Marxism and Leninism of the old Soviet Union, because Western Marxism is commonly known as multiculturalism, or less formally, political correctness. Now, from its beginning, its promoters of cultural Marxism have known they could become more effective if they concealed Marxism, or they concealed the Marxism nature of their work. Hence, they changed the language. This is where the name multiculturalism came from. Now, cultural Marxism began not in the 1960s, but in 1919, immediately after World War I. Now, Marxist theory had predicted that in any event of a big European war, the working class all over Europe would overthrow capitalism and create communism. But when war came in 1914, that didn't happen. When it finally did happen in Russia in 1917, workers in other European countries did not support it. So what had gone wrong? Well, independently, two Marxist theorists, Antonio Gramsci in Italy and George Lukács in Hungary, came to the same answer: Western culture and the Christian religion had so blinded the working class to its true Marxist class interest that communism was impossible in the West until both could be destroyed. So in 1919, Lukács asked, who will save us from Western civilization? That same year, when he became Deputy Commissar for Culture in the short-lived Bolshevik Bela Kun government in Hungary, one of Lukács' first acts was to introduce sex education into Hungary's public schools. He knew that if he could destroy the West's traditional sexual morals, he would have taken a giant step toward destroying Western culture itself. Now, in 1923, inspired in part by Lukács, a group of German Marxists established a think tank at Frankfurt University in Germany called the Institute for Social Research. This institute, soon known simply as the Frankfurt School, would become the creator of cultural Marxism. Now, to translate Marxism from economic into cultural terms, the members of the Frankfurt School, Max Horkheimer, Theodor Adorno, William Reich, Erich Fromm, and Herbert Marcuse, to name the most important, had to contradict Marx on several points. They argued that culture was not just part of what Marx had called society's superstructure, but an independent and very important variable. They also said that the working class would not lead a Marxist revolution because it was becoming part of the middle class that hated bourgeoisie people, or the bourgeoisie culture. Who would? Well, here's your answer. In the 1950s, Marcuse answered the question by asking a coalition of blacks, students, feminist women, and homosexuals. Now, fatefully for America, when Hitler came to power in Germany back in 1933, the Frankfurt School fled and reestablished itself in New York City. There, it shifted its focus from destroying traditional Western culture in Germany to destroying it in the United States. To do so, it invented critical theory. Now, what is the theory? To criticize every traditional institution, starting with the family, brutally and unremittingly in order to bring them down. It wrote a series of studies in prejudice, which said that anyone who believes in traditional Western culture is prejudiced, a racist, or sexist, or fascist, and they're also mentally ill. They don't care about poor people. Now, most importantly, the Frankfurt School crossed Marx with Sigmund Freud, taken from psychology, the technique of psychological conditioning. Today, when the cultural Marxists want to do something like normalize homosexuality, they do not argue the point philosophically. They just beam television show after television show into every American home where the only normal seeming white male is a homosexuality or a homosexual. But at the end of World War II, most members of the Frankfurt School went back to Germany, but Herbert Marcuse stayed in America. He took the highly abstract works of other Frankfurt School members and repackaged them in ways college students could read and understand. Now, in his book, Eros and Civilization, he argued that by freeing sex from any restraints, we could elevate the pleasure principle over the reality principle and create a society with no work, only play. This is where Marcuse coined the phrase, make love, not war. Marcuse also argued for what he called liberating tolerance, which he defined as tolerance for all ideas coming from the left and intolerance for any ideas coming from the right. Now, in the 1960s, Marcuse became the chief guru of the New Left, and he injected the cultural Marxism of the Frankfurt School into the baby boomer generation to the point to where it is now. And that's America's new state ideology. Now, what should happen is individuals on the right should unmask multiculturalism and political correctness by telling American people what they really are. And I know what they are. Political correctness and multiculturalism are known as cultural Marxism. Now, its goal remains what Lukács and Gramsci set in 1919, destroying Western culture and the Christian religion. Now, it has already made vast strides toward that goal. But if the average American found out that political correctness is a form of Marxism different from the Marxism of the Soviet Union, but Marxism nonetheless would be in trouble. So the next conversation that comes from real knowledgeable people who understand the real world, they need to reveal the man behind the curtain. And that man is German philosopher Karl Marx himself. See, a lot of us get caught up in the hype. And the hype gets in our minds. And then we react emotionally. We don't see the big picture. In America, what a number of people want is big government to take over everything. When you hear the terms equality, they don't want equality. They want power. And this is what the Democratic Party is doing. And you see the example of it with this Brett Kavanaugh case. You see the example of it with the Mueller case. They're trying to take down the sitting president to whom they don't like. And this is why it's very important for Americans to not be distracted and get out there and vote. Because you got to ask yourself, do you want a Marxist country where everything is based on emotion and make-believe? Do you want your freedoms silenced? Because see, the people on the left, they're intolerant themselves. They're your real racists, your real sexists, your real homophobes. They're your real haters of this country, but they benefit off this country. See, these leftists send their children to private schools while your children go to public schools. And these leftists in this country are parasites, spoiled, ungrateful. If you give these leftists a plane ticket to communism, they would come back in a flash because they wouldn't have the free speech that they have now. In some countries, they would assassinate you for your free speech. But as average, everyday Americans, we need to open our eyes. Now, there's certain aspects that contribute to cultural Marxism. That's the hatred for white people, but that's also white supremacy that's part of it. Black nationalism, feminism. Your indoctrination of kids in education. In fact, I did a video a few months ago called The Power Five Conferences of Society. And I talked about the media, whether it's social media, talked about your religion, government, your private corporations. And there's another one. Can't remember it right off the bat. But when you indoctrinate those 5 areas of society with cultural Marxism, there goes your country. And you have individuals who want to silence your speech. They want their speech. And then if you make any attempt to threaten the left, they're just going to call you racist. They call you sexist. They don't want to debate. They can't debate. But these people who are on the left in this country are the most intolerant people. You can see it on CNN, MSNBC. You can see it in your colleges, universities. You can see it in the newspaper. But the bottom line of what they really want to do in this country is destroy the traditions that this country was built on. Yes, there's still racism that exists. Not saying that. But what I will tell you is you look at what's going on around you when you try to have a discussion with some people, they get enraged. And if you put these leftists in power, they're going to become very violent if you disagree with them. This is a kind of incidents you saw over in Europe. And remember, I just gave you guys like Gromsky and Lukács. Where did they come from? They came from Europe. They moved their school over here in the United States. You have people like Cloward and Pivens. What they wanted to do was destroy the welfare system and create another system. You had Obama. He was part of that Bill Ayers radical school. I'm giving you examples. You can look it up yourself. You look at us as African Americans. Many of us vote Democrat. We still don't understand what freedom is. But when you vote for cultural Marxism, you stay on the plantation. Because cultural Marxism will keep you poor. Cultural Marxism uses guilt. They want to change your mind. They want cultural Marxism, the people who are behind it, want to take this country and turn it into something totally different. And if we're not awake, this country will be something totally different. You talk about freedom gone, everybody will be in slavery. But at the end of the day, I will say this. You have to ask yourself, what kind of country do you really want? Do you want a country that's still a democratic republic? Or do you want a country that's engulfed in tyranny. You be the judge. But I know where I want to go. Although this country's had a number of problems, I like to be able to be free to express myself without any backlash. I like to be free to continue to have representative government. I like to be free to have an opportunity. I may never be a millionaire, but I have the opportunity to be a millionaire. So when it comes to the thought process in this country, cultural Marxism is being utilized to change our minds, to use what Obama said, fundamentally transform this country to a socialist, a communist, a Marxist regime. And if you don't believe me, you look around you. Think it's bad now? It's going to get worse. Because cultural Marxism keeps all of us ignorant and enslaved. And that's my commentary for this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show for this morning, Saturday, September 29th, 2018. You can tune in to the 401 Talk Zone radio show every Wednesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Blog Talk Radio. Guest calling number is 215-383-5785. If you like my videos, please share and subscribe to the 401 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube so I can continue to give you quality information for educational purposes from a professional and mature perspective. Here on the 411 Talk Zone radio show, I don't do debates, controversial issues, or emotional issues. Now, some of the issues may appear to be sensitive based on how you take the information. What I stand for here is truth. This channel is an educational, self-awareness, therapeutic channel. This is why I don't engage in drama or unnecessary bickering, because it is counterproductive. Everything that you hear on this channel is researched by me. Of course, I give you my own experiences, but I keep everything positive and accurate. Because once you have knowledge, you have power. And if you have power, you can destroy cultural Marxism. But that's only if you understand what cultural Marxism is. And if you have a topic, a YouTube channel, or business that you would like for me to discuss on YouTube or Blog Talk Radio, simply email me at lej6521@gmail.com. And if you have a comment, please leave your comment in the comment section under the video. But make sure that your comments are pithy. No bloviating, pettifogging, or filibustering if you wish to opine. Now that's it for this video. Till next time. My name is Leon Jones. Remember, please be gentle and respectful to each other and have a wonderful and blessed day. God bless you.